how people really see you. They see you as someone who is just really abundant and really successful. They also see you as someone who is just so easy to love, so easy to be around. And they also see you as a extremely strong and courageous person. So this is your daily reading, and so these are things that could be coming up today or just things that you are working through within yourself. I'm hoping that it brings you some clarity along your journey so that if there are some things that really have been weighing on your mind, that you are freed from that. Sometimes those things pop up. So this is all about how people see you. And this is important because sometimes we see ourselves as one way, not realizing that other people really see us in another way. And what first came across for you is just this energy that, like, people see you in an extremely positive way. Regardless of what's going on in your individual life, regardless of how you feel about certain things, people see you and they see you like they feel like you're just so easy to be loved. They feel like you kind of have all the answers. They feel like you're super abundant, and they feel like you will fight for something, like you're courageous. You have strength. You're also not to be messed with or taken advantage of. This came though, well, also this energy right here is telling us everything that we need to know. And this energy is saying this person right here, something is so special about them. That's how they see it. They see you like this. But you have experienced some other things, in order for you to get here, for you to be this type of person, there was a lot of discomfort. There's a lot of setbacks. There's a lot of um, just being upset, disappointment that you've experienced through your life. And so even though you don't carry that the way that you present to people, it's there. So some people see this, but you might be seeing like when things didn't go a certain way, or you are this because of these situations that happen. So it might be difficult for you from time to time to see the cups that are full, all of this, because maybe you had expected your life to be so much bigger. Maybe you had worked at some other things that didn't come to be. Maybe you're there's a disappointment that you're working through currently, that it's hard for you to see this. But rest assured, that is not how people see you. And also, I don't want you to kind of fall victim to feeling like because this happened, this is going to fall over too. Like, why even look? Why even turn over? Because, the things that I need, this is just going to knock over too. No, it's not that at all. Some people spend their whole life just to have one cup full. And here it is, you've reached for a faraway planet, but yet you still landed among the stars. And so that's okay. You have so much abundance around you, so much talent, so much accessibility, so much infrastructure, but it's coming across like resourcefulness. You have so much resourcefulness around you that people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that they're able to do this, because for them, just getting one cup full is like a whole lifetime worth of thing. So this is an indicator that you should maybe take it a little bit easy on yourself. You didn't have to have all of this by such a young age. In fact, throughout life, you can experience, a lot of your cups becoming full. So you don't have to think that you need to be so accomplished by 20, 30, 40, 50, or whatever. You have a whole life, okay? And so oftentimes we fill up more and more of our cups in our life through the different stages in our life. So if you were trying to fill up all these cups at one stage and you got two done, that's actually pretty amazing. So I want you to see that as, okay, well, if I can do that, then that means I can go at like maybe a cadence of 2. Let me not try with 5. Let me try with 2. But you got to get over that heartbreak and that hurt of feeling like you weren't perfect or you're not enough, or, you kind of have to get over it, because this is actually how you are. This is how you're actually showing up. And you have something about you, like the way that you're able to take action, the way that the moves that you make are really destined for greatness. They're destined to make your whatever you want come true. But you just can't do everything at one time. And don't be all or nothing, okay? Don't feel as though well, if I can't be this freak of nature, then I don't want to be anything. Don't be like that. Be a regular human being. You don't realize how many people you are inspiring by just showing up and being able to accomplish what you've been able to accomplish. I know maybe for the ego, we want so much at one time, but you got to understand that the energy, it's really how you look at it. Because here we have the 5 of Cups here, but here we have a different perspective of the 5 of Cups. This 5 of Cups in reverse, it talks about letting go or releasing a lot of these emotional things, setback, a cup half empty and not half full. But also 5 glasses of wine in an extra glass, you might look at it as collecting, or the abundance that you can grow, or emotionally having enough in the bank for yourself, or even how much energy or how much emotion it takes for you to complete things, and how you can be resourceful. Here we have this gloomy sky. Here we have a little bit of clouds and some raindrops. So I don't know if you've ever felt like in a kind of stormy, kind of rainy day where you sit on the couch or in the bed and just look out the window and watch the rain. And it can feel so cozy. So it really is your perspective of how you look at these situations. It could also be protecting your peace. It could be nurturing yourself. It's all those things. But in order to be this which people see, it took a lot. It took a lot. So I also don't want you to feel like you have to just disproportionately suffer in order to be successful. It's all about actually being strategic. It's all about working smarter and not harder. You work diligently, you work consistently, but being brainless and just throwing, the same thing at something, thinking it's going to amplify it, is not what you do. You think about it, you work through it, you use your live experience, you try things out, you test things out. There's a strategy. And so I feel like this is actually what you should be focusing on, because this is how you come off to people. This is what you've been through that makes you resilient, makes you kind of resistant to things, but a tinge of sadness. But really, what you're walking towards is you're in more control than you think you are. You have more strength about you than you think you do. And connect in with that. See that you can see yourself too. Because sometimes when we have these kinds of readings, it's hard for you to see yourself. But when you're strategic, you can see yourself. This is who I am. It doesn't mean that these things go away. It just means that they don't control you. It also doesn't mean that you should just look at yourself like this and not, acknowledge parts of yourself. No, it's not that at all. It's see yourself for who you are and respect yourself and give yourself grace. So you start saying to yourself, wow, I was able to be this despite of all this. Wow, I'm able to do this or that. I wonder why. And think about the strategic things you've done. Review those things within yourself. Walk your own path. There's a lot of this energy of walking your own path, walking your own destiny, showing up for yourself in the best way, because there are a lot of rules and there are a lot of roadmaps to do things. But the best way for you to get to where you need to go is to do it the way that works best for you. I know that, following the rules may feel like a safety and may feel like it'll get you to where you need to go, but it might piss you off if you follow the rules and you're not anywhere closer to what you want. Also, doing things the way that other people did it, it makes other people like you and respect you in the path, in the right now. But going your own path, doing things the way that is best for you, like being a trailblazer, a trendsetter, people won't understand. They'll ignore you, naysay or whatever when you're doing it. But once you get there, they're like, oh yeah, this person all along. So just understand, if you are the person who maybe have had people doubt you before, and you figured out how to do it anyway, just because people accept you now doesn't mean that you shouldn't like push past that again and push into a new area. Okay, this is you. This is you. Don't focus on the times that people doubted you or you doubted yourself. Just realize, okay, these are the things that I did right, and see that in your mind. I did this right and I did that in that kind of way. And it's not in a boastful kind of way, though. There's nothing wrong with tooting your own horn. It's in a strategic kind of way. Like, how can I make better decisions tomorrow than I did today? Incrementally, of course. So that is really how, people are seeing you. So there's a lot of love surrounding you. So I hope you don't, forget that love. I hope you don't get caught up in your worries, because you're stronger than anything that comes to mind. So here's the thing. When you feel something, it's real. It's a real thing. It's a real feeling. But just because you feel something does not mean it is reality. I'm going to run that back one more time. When you feel something, it's a real feeling. It feels real. But that does not mean it is reality. Oh, I think this is not going to work out. That's a real feeling. But it working out in reality actually has nothing to do with your feelings. Whether you are maybe someone who's more intuitive, more psychic, more gifted, even if you feel that feeling of like, oh, I feel some type of way, it still is not an indicator if it's not going to work. Sometimes there's so much energy for the people who are more like psychically inclined. Sometimes there's a lot of energy, like not understanding energetic boundaries, not understanding how to take care of your gifts, that you confuse things in your own life that might just be other people's energy happening around you. That's number one. Number two, don't confuse that, there are times in your path where there's a little bit of challenge, that means it's a no. That a perfect situation is, if something's meant to be, it'll just be a path and it opens up. Absolutely not. That rarely happens. And when it does, there was probably a lot of work that went into it. Get that out your mind right now. Working hard to get somewhere means you're just learning how to kind of get over the little insecurities you have, and you're using your everyday will, the will you have, your free will, to work towards those things. It's not that things need to beat you up. It's not that things have to be overly hard, and it's not that things should be super easy. It's just, hey, get over the mind of things. The thing about us as people, as humans, that really differentiate us from other species is that we are storytellers. We are people that, or we are a species that works a lot within the mind and the imagination. We know this through our anatomy. When we compare ourselves, we have such a large brain in comparison to the rest of our bodies. Some people's brains are bigger than others. But in comparison to our bodies, and we use a lot of that brain, and there's a lot of parts of the brain that are things that we can do in our brain that we still don't understand. We're still learning, in which other species may not have to do that. You think of like maybe a crocodile or an alligator. They may have not needed to evolve to have a bigger, more advanced brain, but we did. Because of that, though, we're so driven by our thoughts, and our thoughts and our feelings they feel real. That's why when you believe something can happen, no matter what the situation is, you can often bring it into being because you push those thoughts to the side and you just work towards it. Whether that is fear based or whether that is faith based, this is not going to work out for me. This is not going to work out for me. So you self sabotage and you make it happen. Was it really not going to work out for you? No. Also, there are times where people do kind of this weird mixture where they'll be like, this is not going to work out. This is not going to work out. And then they work towards the thing and they get there and they start to convince themselves, oh, well, if I doubt, if it doesn't work, I'll be right. But if it does work, that's okay. Which I think that just kind of messes up your mind more than anything, because then it just plays with your nervous system all day. But really what it is about growing up and maturing is saying, okay, I'm going to deal with these thoughts that are coming across. And I'm going to chisel away at the stuff that's not working mentally and emotionally each and every day. I'm not going to be able to get everything taken. I'm not going to be able to move everything. But I can chip away a little bit. And that's enough. And when you meet people who are all over the place, they're going to be like, that's not enough. I need all of it. And it'll feel that way for you. But chip away at a little bit of that each and every day. And there'll be parts in your life that just start to clear up, but it takes time. A lot of people want to rush this process. Every time they feel flustered, their whole world falls apart. It's about building mental strength. It's about building emotional balance. It's about showing up for yourself. And that's who you are. This has been happening very unconsciously. So now it's time for you to be conscious about it. This is who I am. This is how I show up. So if anybody, approaches you in a different kind of way, you know who you are. So you can kind of be like, I don't really care. But also, I think it's more than just other people. It's really how we feel about ourselves and our perception of other people. So that's what the work is here. Getting out of your own way, getting rid of the self-sabotage that can happen sometimes when we don't see ourselves as we are. I mean, very attractive person, very alluring, and attractive energy. People get this messed up. They think it's all about what you look like on the outside. And when I say attractive, they're thinking of some like mainstream image of being attractive. This is what attractive is. This is what people need to understand. This is how sirens be sirening, how people can be very alluring, okay? How seers be seering, this energy that can happen. It really actually isn't about how you look. First and foremost, people can be very attractive within their niche, whatever their look. They're doing it right. So the people who appreciate that look, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's they're doing this the way. Even if on the mainstream, someone will be like, I don't know what's going on there. So you got that down. But also there's an alluring energy about you that has to do with how you come across. There's just something about someone who, you just see that energy in them and you see them interested in something and it's just become so attractive. Like a person who is, I'm going to use the word confident, but I think confident creates the illusion that someone has to be an extrovert, and that's not true at all. Confident, actually, I know a better way to say it. A person who is themselves. So whether you felt like you had to settle with being yourself or you are embracing yourself, there's something really strong about that. There's something really seductive and alluring about that. When people see that, they aspire to be that. Also, how you deal with others. You make people feel really, really good. You make people feel like $1,000,000. And that, let me tell you something. If you don't take anything from me about being attractive, this is the one thing. It don't matter what you look like. If you make someone look special, you just become attractive to them. And vice versa. If someone sits and listens to you, or you sit and listen to somebody, they become attractive. If they make you feel special, they become attractive. So if somebody has roped you in, somebody look at them on the outside like, oh, I guess they're okay looking. And you're like, I don't know, something about them is extra special. Or you might see that for someone else. there are different levels to attractiveness. So you might meet someone who is very beautiful, very conventionally beautiful with a horrible attitude, and you're like, they're ugly to you. Or you might meet somebody who's really beautiful, but they never learned how to harness any other level of attraction. So even though they're pretty, it just they're not actually as pretty as they are. I you see this actually a lot on social media where some people are just externally very beautiful, but then they haven't, established any of the subtle energy that goes into attractiveness. So it just feels like some stuff is a little off. It doesn't, and sometimes people like to be overly sexual to make up for this. And it's not even interesting sexual. It's very just like in your face, not really even something different or something like, what is this? Because they're trying to kind of cosplay what they think something is, as opposed to just exploring what something needs to be for themselves. However level, or you want to layer that. So back to you, this beautiful energy you have. I want you to stop doubting yourself, because that's what's coming across. But I do feel like you have the ability to make peace. Make peace with the mindset. Okay? There's nothing wrong with you. There's not anything about you that makes you extra unlucky, and that just because certain things didn't work out, that it's not going to work out in the future. I want you to start focusing on the things that are full in your life. And I want you to focus on a cadence that works. But with that being said, if you focus on the cadence that works, going at a speed that works for you, you're going to have a lot of free time mentally that you need to figure out where to put that mind to, or you're just going to you're going to ruminate, overthink, or just obsessively think about something over and over again. So when you free up this space, where are you going to put that energy? And I think it's always important to put that energy into things that are things you like, but also you can fail at without it like ruining your whole life. Just things that, when you do well, it feels good, and when you don't do well, there's areas to have grace, but just a safe place to play. Like it's like a sandbox, like a play area for you, and find that area in your life that has that. So a lot more coming across, but this is where I'm going to leave you today.